I would put my fist through his face. He's such a dangerous, I don't know how he is a candidate. He is so dangerous, and what he brings to my country, what he's awakened in my country is bigotry and distrust and a certain kind of supremacy in certain groups.
It all began with a seemingly routine appearance on a late-night talk show. Cher, the legendary pop icon and outspoken activist, was invited for what was expected to be a lighthearted segment, stories from her career, upcoming projects, and her signature bold takes on culture. But the conversation took a sharp turn when the topic of American politics surfaced, specifically the Trump family. Known for her unfiltered opinions and willingness to go where others wouldn't dare, Cher didn't hold back. With the audience hanging on every word, she shifted from cultural critique to
Well, I have to admit that I appreciate your directness,
Donald.
I will try and be as direct and honest with you as I possibly can be. I am positive that you are the most unattractive man I have ever met in my entire life. In the short time we've been together, you have demonstrated every loathsome characteristic of the male personality and even discovered a few new ones. You are physically repulsive, intellectually you're morally reprehensible, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell. You're not even interesting enough to make me sick.
Insights that, according to her, were based on decades of observing the Trump family's rise to power and the chaos they allegedly leave in their wake. I don't say these things lightly, she began. But the truth about that family, it's darker than people imagine. We've all seen the headlines, the tweets, the scandals, but there's a deep rot, a kind of moral emptiness that radiates from the inside out. The room fell silent. Viewers at home leaned in. Even the host, known for pushing celebrities into candid territory, looked taken aback. Cher had everyone's full attention, and she wasn't finished. She went on to suggest that the public's obsession with Trump was a distraction from something more serious. The power.
And he lies. He tells something, and then you go back and you see what he said, and it seems like the truth both times. He's so terrific at lying. I've never seen anybody so good. I mean, it's amazing. I could go on and on this subject forever. Because I'm so traumatized by him.
Structures that allowed a family like his to exist in the political spotlight for so long. She referenced family members by name, calling out Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump for their roles in propping up a regime that didn't care who it hurt, and even implying that their carefully curated image was a facade built on manipulation and media control. But what caused a media storm was when she made a deeply personal allegation that behind closed doors, the Trump family dynamic was more performative than genuine. It's not a family, it's a brand, Cher said sharply. Everything they do is for the.
I understand how the people were so desperate to pick this man, this unbelievable narcissist who could change the face of our world if we let him. And the only thing that will save us is you. And I know you can stop this. I know you can stop this because the power of the people is bigger than those assholes that are there in Washington.
Optics. Melania didn't marry into love, she married into survival. Ivanka didn't rise in business, she was positioned. And Donald doesn't protect his family, he uses them. The host tried to steer the conversation back to safer territory, but Cher wasn't done. She detailed how she had witnessed firsthand the behavior of certain Trump family members at high society events. Long before Trump entered politics, there was always this coldness, she said. No warmth, no sincerity. Just eyes constantly calculating who was useful and who wasn't. Cher's comments lit up the internet within minutes. Clips of the segment flooded social media. Hashtags like #ShareTruthBomb and #TrumpFamilyExposed began trending globally. Overnight,
I have to tell you something. If someone said that my daughter was a hot piece of ass, I would put my fist through his face. Someone who would bring down the country because he doesn't win does not deserve anything, deserves nothing. He deserves nothing. He does not deserve any kind of respect, loyalty. I don't think he has two moral fibers to rub together. He wants to be the king, but he doesn't want to do the work.
And YouTube videos and commentary channels were breaking down each of her claims, comparing them to past statements from former White House insiders and leaked memoirs. Donald Trump's reaction was, predictably, explosive. Sources close to him revealed that he had seen the segment just after it aired and immediately went into what one aide described as an uncontainable fit of rage. On his social media platform, Trump issued a string of angry posts calling Cher washed up, delusional, and another Hollywood fraud. He threatened legal action.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology.
Cher, what was your reaction when you heard him say that?
Oh, come on. And he says those letters like a child that's just learning the alphabet, and then pokes his finger in the air for Q. I mean, he's the most disingenuous man I've ever seen. And I want to tell you, my people will not believe him for a minute. And I read that he was at a 7-hour closed-door meeting with 400 of the most conservative, hate gay people, LGBT community that there are. So how does he go from that meeting to telling my people that he will protect them?
Hinted at releasing damaging information in return, and accused liberal elites of orchestrating a smear campaign against him. But the more he lashed out, the more attention Cher's words gained. Political commentators jumped in. Former aides to the Trump family began anonymously confirming parts of Cher's narrative. One former staffer stated, "She's not wrong. Everything is transactional. Love, loyalty, even grief, it's all weaponized for control or public sympathy." What followed was a media free-for-all. News outlets began revisiting archived footage of Trump's family interactions, reanalyzing moments of public awkwardness, Ivanka flinching at his touch, Melania's stone-cold expressions during major events, and Donald Jr.'s often overly eager attempts to impress his father. A deeper dive into the Trump family's inner dynamics began circulating widely. Investigative journalists highlighted reports of infighting between siblings, Jared's role in allegedly sidelining others in the White House, and the intense loyalty tests Trump was known to demand from those closest to him. Suddenly, Cher's words didn't seem like...
You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
But Donald is no Cher fan. He's tweeted she should spend more time focusing on her family and dying career. When she tweets about him, she uses a toilet emoticon rather than Trump's name. She never runs out of bad things to call him. At the fundraiser, she raised the specter of President Trump.
And I think that if breaking news ever happened and he had to go to the podium, we would just all go.
Celebrity speculation, they were starting to sound eerily accurate. Meanwhile, Cher took to social media to clarify her position. "This isn't about politics," she tweeted. "This is about humanity and how power can strip it away if people stop paying attention." Her words reignited old debates about whether the Trump family ever functioned as a typical family unit, or if their rise was built on maintaining an image at the expense of emotional authenticity. Critics argued that Cher had no business talking about a private family, but others pushed back, noting that the Trump family had long forfeited their claim.
Trump supporters fired back. Cher is way past her expiration date. Time to dump her in the trash. Cher's response: "Had I known I'd get such vicious hate for supporting Hillary, I would have done it anyway." Bang, bang, these two like to shoot each other down.
Cher is somewhat of a loser. She's lonely, she's unhappy.
I just think
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington.
Came to privacy the moment they entered the political arena. Amid all this, Melania's silence was once again a topic of discussion. As usual, she declined to comment. No press statements, no public appearances, just a few carefully selected Instagram posts promoting charitable events and reposts of fashion. retrospectives to Cher's supporters. Her silence said it all. And while Trump scrambled to reclaim the narrative, reposting old family photos, issuing denials through spokespersons, and even giving Fox News an exclusive interview about keeping his family strong, the public wasn't buying it. The authenticity gap was too wide, the performance too forced. Back on TV, Cher's clip continued to gain traction. Talk shows invited psychologists to dissect family dynamics. Media watchdogs debated celebrity activism, and longtime Trump critics cited her speech as the moment the curtain was fully pulled back, and to many, the timing couldn't be worse for Trump. With campaign season in full swing, the last thing—
No one will fight harder than my father for all of you. There is no more resilient man in the world than Donald Trump. Every time they tried to take him out, every time they said he was finished and we're moving on, he came back bigger, better, stronger than ever before.
He needed was a renewed spotlight on his personal life. Cher, meanwhile, doubled down again during a podcast interview a week later. "You can't lie forever," she said. Eventually, even the strongest mask starts to crack. Her voice had become a rallying point, not just for anti-Trump activists, but for those who felt disillusioned with how power shields people from scrutiny. Her outburst wasn't just celebrity gossip, it was a challenge to those watching, urging—
I was thinking, all despots, Stalin, Hitler, but then I thought, even though they said the same things, we're going to make Germany great again. And it was at a time when the Deutschmark, I think, was 25 cents. And also, look at Brexit. These people just screwed themselves so badly because—
them to look beyond the headlines and pay attention to the behavior. As public fascination with the story surged, tabloid and mainstream media outlets alike scrambled to dig deeper. Old friends of the Trumps were interviewed. A former nanny to Barron Trump gave a vague yet telling statement about Melania's emotional distance. Even more startling was a report that Ivanka had been distancing herself quietly from her—
I'm not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? You understand? Am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy. I'm a business guy.
her father's campaign efforts. Choosing instead to spend time abroad with her own family and business ventures, suddenly, Trump's strongest public asset, his family, was under a microscope, and it wasn't looking good. Cher had done something no political pundit or opponent had managed to do in recent years. She had peeled back the layers, not through policy debates or legal accusations, but by speaking directly to the emotional and human truths people often ignored. She spoke not as a politician, but as someone—
Well, first of all, I'm a citizen. And that's my right. I've been through 11 presidents. We've been afraid of different countries, and we've been afraid of different actions from those countries. I never thought that I would fear actions from my own.
With the kind of honesty only a person with nothing to lose could afford. In response, Trump's supporters accused her of launching a smear campaign. But even among the conservative ranks, some voices began to acknowledge what had long been whispered: the Trump brand, as a family, was never about unity, was about illusion. As for Cher, she remained unfazed. Her legacy didn't depend on political approval. She had survived decades of fame, reinvention.
He doesn't mean either we want to make America great again. He means we want to make America straight and white. The people he will bring with him will put an end to any hope that women have of getting the rights that we had in Roe versus Wade. I believe they will put an end to any gay marriage. They will put an end to gay adoption. They will put an end to so many services that we do for the old, the young, the starving.
And backlash. One more firestorm wasn't going to stop her. If anything, it fueled her to speak louder. When the worlds of pop royalty and political power clash on live television, the results are explosive, and this time, it was Cher who lit the match. The iconic performer and outspoken activist didn't hold back during her appearance on national TV, delivering a string of sharp truths that left the audience stunned and the internet on fire. What began as a casual conversation turned into a searing takedown of the
They're not the government really of the people. And how he's been able to align himself as one of the people is just, it's amazing. I mean, look, it's not going to hurt me. I'm 70. It's not going to do anything to me, but it's going to do stuff to young people. And that really scares me and it really bothers me because he just doesn't care.
The former First Family Anne, emotional, cutting critique that rattled even the most seasoned political commentators. Cher's words were more than opinion. They were rooted in years of observation and public record. With surgical precision, she laid bare a timeline of behaviors, contradictions, and inconsistencies that have followed Trump and his family since their rise to political power. Her tone was equal parts fierce and heartbroken, as she expressed concern not just for the country, but for the generational impact of dishonesty and abuse of influence. It wasn't just Trump.
Been just a roller coaster, and the one thing that I have never done is I never give up. I never give up. And I'm talking to the women. I'm talking to the women, okay? You guys are on your own. You know? We've been down and out, and we keep striving, and we keep going, and we keep building, and we are somebody.